He was 26th, down by 29 seconds. With 24 laps left, most drivers would have quietly managed the gap, salvaged what points they could, and moved on. Shane van Gisbergen got on the radio and cursed. Because he genuinely believed his race was over. It wasn't. What happened next in those 24 laps at Watkins Glen has been called one of the greatest performances in the history of road racing in NASCAR. Not by a fan, not by a journalist, by the live broadcast commentator in the moment, with nowhere to hide if he was wrong. But here is the part nobody is talking about. After SVG crossed that finish line, 7 seconds clear of second place, he admitted something that should have broken the internet. He said he was not sure it was going to work even while he was doing it. And then Michael McDowell, the man who finished second, said something even more alarming. Something that tells you this was not just a great drive. Something that tells you the rest of this field has a serious problem on road courses. And Connor Zilisch, the 19-year-old who was right there fighting for the lead, revealed exactly why his day ended the way it did. And what he said is heartbreaking. 3 moments, 3 revelations, 1 race that changes everything. Stay right here. If this kind of deep dive NASCAR breakdown is what you are looking for, hit that like button right now and subscribe. It genuinely helps more than you know. Okay, so here is what actually happened on Sunday at Watkins Glen International. SVG led 74 of 100 laps. He was dominant and in complete control. The race was basically his. Then, on lap 60, Joey Logano blew a left front tire, bringing out a caution flag that completely split the field on strategy. 9 cars stayed out. The rest came to pit road, including SVG, for what the team hoped would be one final stop to the finish. When SVG came back out of the pits, he was buried deep in the field, 26th place. He got on the radio and cursed. He thought his shot at winning was gone. Crew chief Stephen Doran told him to calm down. The plan was simple but bold. Those cars ahead were saving fuel and nursing worn tires, while SVG on fresh rubber with no fuel worries was about to go hunting. SVG did not fully believe it. And then he started driving. 24 laps. 29.2 seconds erased. He picked off Ty Gibbs. He picked off Connor Zilisch. He picked off Michael McDowell. He passed them all like they were cones in a parking lot. And he crossed the finish line with a 7-second gap back to second place, after starting that final stint in 26th. The broadcast commentator said it clearly. Folks, you've just seen one of the greatest performances in the history of road racing in NASCAR. And that is not hyperbole. That is just accurate. But here is what SVG said when Jamie Little stuck the mic in his face right after. He said the car was not even good in practice. He said qualifying turned things around. And then came the part that demands attention. He said he was not sure it was going to work even while he was doing it. His exact words, "We weren't very good in practice. And then qualifying was amazing, good tweaks. And then today, I wasn't sure how it was going to work. And then to run them down like that, very special to do 2 in a row." This was not blind confidence. This was execution under doubt. He drove through genuine uncertainty and still produced a masterclass. That is a completely different level of mental and physical control. But before we get to what McDowell said, there is something that needs to be addressed, because this win was not just another checkered flag for SVG. The number 97 is not just a car number. It is a family legacy. It is a tribute to his dad. SVG's father, Robert van Gisbergen, raced with that number. Shane grew up watching it. He carried it through motocross, speedway racing, and into the Supercars Championship in Australia, where he won 80 races and 3 championships under that same number. When Trackhouse owner Justin Marks offered SVG the switch to the number 97 for 2026, it was SVG's father who wrote the letter announcing it. Shane could not even get through reading it out loud. He got emotional. So when he crossed that finish line at Watkins Glen in the number 97 on his birthday weekend, his birthday is May 9th and the race was May 11th. It was his first Cup Series win in that car, his second consecutive victory at that exact track, and his 7th career Cup win, all on road courses, in just 14 road course starts. When you understand all of that, you understand why he was speechless at the finish line. Now, what Michael McDowell said after finishing second is the most underrated quote to come out of Watkins Glen, and it confirms something about SVG that is honestly alarming for the rest of the field. McDowell finished second, a strong result for Spire Motorsports after a rough stretch of races. He came from deep in the field himself, restarting 27th at one point, and drove a smart, disciplined race. But here is what he said on the mic. There were moments where I thought, maybe we can hang with SVG. And it felt like he was just pacing himself off me. He'd take back off. McDowell came out of the pits right alongside SVG. Same tires, same moment, a clean and equal restart. And SVG still drove away from him. He was not racing McDowell. He was using McDowell as a reference point. This is not dominance. This is a different level entirely. When the second-place finisher tells you he felt like the winner was pacing himself, that is not a race result. That is a warning shot. Now let's talk about 19-year-old Connor Zilisch, because his story at Watkins Glen is the third thing nobody is discussing. Zilisch scored 10 wins in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series as a rookie in 2025 and nearly won the championship. But in his 2026 Cup rookie season, it has been brutal, averaging a 26.0 finish through 11 races with no top 10s yet. At Watkins Glen, he qualified a career-best fifth, ran inside the top 5 all day, and was door-to-door with Ty Gibbs for a significant portion of Stage 2. He was on course for at minimum his first career Cup Series top 5. But in the final stint, his team was instructing him to save fuel. He caught Gibbs with 18 laps to go, but was not given permission to push hard yet. Only in the final 10 laps did he take a real shot at Gibbs, working to his inside. Then, with 9 laps to go, SVG passed Zilisch, and at nearly the same moment, Zilisch reported a flat tire and had to limp back to pit road, falling back to 20th place. His post-race words were measured and honest. "I'm not sure what actually cut the tire. We were running on those tires for a long time. Just frustrating." And in a classy moment, he added, "Congrats to Shane, Trackhouse ECR engines, cool to see him win." Here is what that result actually reveals. The race was extended 10 laps compared to 2025. Zilisch himself noted he probably would have been better with a shorter distance. He was genuinely fast enough to be in the fight. This is not a talent problem. This is a rookie learning curve combined with racing circumstances. Consider this. SVG's own rookie cup season saw him averaging a 27.5 finish through his first 11 races with 3 DNFs. Zilisch is averaging a 26.0 finish through 11 races, an almost identical path. If SVG's arc is any indication of what comes next for Zilisch, the rest of the field should probably start paying attention. While all of this was unfolding, the messiest moment of the entire race weekend was happening in another corner of the garage. Bubba Wallace and Christopher Bell were in each other's faces on pit road. Wallace finished 29th, Bell finished 21st. The broadcast caught it live. Wallace animated, talking with his hands, walking away and coming back. The commentator joked they had 2 weeks to sort it out before the next points race. Here is what actually happened. Wallace was spun out by John Hunter Nemechek with 15 laps to go, costing him what was shaping up to be a top 10 to 12 finish. Bell had no knowledge that Wallace had been spun and thought Wallace was simply fading on old tires. Wallace, furious, began racing everyone around him hard. Bell, Riley Herbst, anyone in the mix. Bell confronted Wallace on pit road after the race. Wallace's own explanation was direct. "When that happens, you see red. You don't care who is out there. I just had my race ruined 30 seconds beforehand." That same evening, Wallace called Bell, and they had a civil conversation. Bell at Dover confirmed it. "We didn't even have a run-in on track. He was aggressive toward me, and I asked him what was up. We're all great, but the deeper issue remains. Wallace sits 10th in points, and Bell sits 11th, separated by just 2 points. Both are legitimate championship contenders. In a season with no clear frontrunner, every relationship and every point matters. The playoffs will be chaotic, and you cannot afford distractions. The fire is out for now, but in a championship battle this tight, every spark counts. Zooming out, SVG moved to 16th in points after the win. Chastain sits 18th, Zilisch 33rd, all outside the chase. Road courses are Trackhouse lifeline right now. SVG said it himself. Getting a win is huge, and that'll really help us. But I'd rather be fast every week and not have to rely on road courses. The numbers behind his road course record are staggering. 7 Cup wins, all on road courses, in just 14 road course starts. 6 wins in the last 7 road races. An average margin of victory in green flag road race finishes of 10.992 seconds. Nobody in the modern era dominates road courses like this. The question is no longer whether SVG can win road races. The question is whether he and Trackhouse can build enough oval consistency to make the playoffs. And if he walks into the postseason with road course wins already banked, what happens then? Because if the postseason schedule lands right and SVG walks in with momentum, we might be talking about something a lot bigger than Watkins Glen. This channel is just getting started, and every like and subscription genuinely pushes us closer to 1,000 subscribers, a goal that means everything at this stage. If this kind of honest, detailed NASCAR breakdown is what you want every week, please subscribe and hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds and makes a real difference. Now here is the question for you. Can SVG make the playoffs in 2026, and what happens if he does? Drop your answer in the comments. Every single one gets read.